All right, thanks, guys. So who wants to have the first crack at him? Charles.
Is it fair for a former speaker to ask a question?
Of course.
I would like to ask each of the panel members what they think caused the huge setback in chemical investing.
Hurricane Katrina.
Starting in 2010 and apparently continuing into this decade.
So from a non-scientist, even in light of what I heard, saw, read, what I've heard and saw today and what I've read, I still, there's some way that the oil spill has to be the smoking gun. I don't know. I still think the 10 drop still has, but that's, of course, you're all scientists and you're going to say, no, there's no empirical data that supports that, but I don't know. I just think that was an awfully big drop for a cold winter.
I'm not trying to dodge a bullet, but I think it was a synergistic effect. I think it was a combination of factors. I think BP was part of it. I think the cold temperatures as well. And I think you combine those, and I think that probably, that's my opinion. You know, some of these factors put together wasn't just one factor.
What I could say is I understand there's a lot of research being done. Until that data is set in stone, we'll know. But for now, what I can say is we do know that industry has increased, population increased, global warming, all these factors I think can play a role in it. I couldn't say, I don't study these numbers, but we do know what's going on in the world. So you could assume that there's a few things that could have caused it.
Patrick is doing director stuff, so you're going to have to settle for me, so apologies. Sorry about that Katrina thing. I agree with Gary, and I'm going to quote Pamela Plotkin, Dr. Pamela Plotkin. It's a perfect storm of factors. The oil spill, nature, you know, there's natural fluctuations of populations in every single species. The winter, what Benny mentions, you know, there's not enough food for them. They're going somewhere else that we don't know about. I mean, if you put all the main nesting sites together in the Gulf of Mexico from, let's say, Donna's Padre National Seashore, what Curator Incorporated covers on Padre Island, Boca Chica, and you head down, there's a big gap between Boca Chica Beach and La Pesca, and then we head further down to Veracruz, which has a bunch of nesting beaches, many of which are not accessible because they're simply not accessible. But sea turtles don't care about that. They keep nesting there. So just as an example, this is an unofficial number, but if you put together all of the nests from Tamaulipas, Veracruz, and Texas from last year, you have 20,000 nests. So again, after 2010, it was just a perfect storm of several factors. And hopefully, we're going to see a fluctuation that's going up. Benny and I think that this might be a key year in that, and that's why we have the time recapture study. So hopefully I'll be here next year telling you some good news. I hope that answered the question.
All right, who's next? Yes, sir.
Gary, would you be able to talk more about that capital murder example that you brought up?
Yeah, I guess I was kind of hoping somebody would ask me that. I was trying to get through my talk and get us back on schedule. One of the operators down here in Brownsville, in my opinion, is one of the most compliant fleets in the whole Gulf of Mexico. In fact, last month, to give you an example, I took the gear monitoring team over. I remember I was telling you I was mentoring one of the young men there, and told him, I said, you know, you'll find no problems on this dock. I said, you know, you want to find good Teds, this is the place. On the way down to Brownsville 2 days ago, I got a call asking me to go to Rockport. And, well, it was all over. They didn't know whether they were going to land a boat. But one of those boats out of that fleet got busted. And it was capital murder. And what had happened was, the fleet owners just totally said, oh, we don't believe this, it can't happen to us, we're going to all these lengths to make sure that it's, our gear's straight. Would you please go by there and, ask the game wardens if you can check that gear. And I did indeed check the gear, and the gear was bad. And I talked to the captain. It was his first trip on that boat. He assured me he didn't touch that tin. And what had happened was he started off with a set of nets that were designed for white shrimp. And he fished white shrimp. And he had 6,000 pounds of shrimp on that boat. And he decided to go offshore and fish another species of shrimp, and he took those nets off and he went into the hold and filled out the nets for the brown shrimp. Hooked them up, and the buck stopped with that captain, but they were illegal. They had a captain on that trip right after Christmas. It was no good, and they fired him. And they failed to go in and check the gear. And they lost $6,000, 6,000 pounds of shrimp. It was forfeited, plus a fine. And like I say, there's no doubt in my mind that fleet has tried to be as compliant as anybody. And that captain, for doing that, they're going to have to pay restitution so many dollars a pound for those shrimp in order to get his captain license, his state license back, plus the fine. So yeah, it saddened me greatly. Now, I'm not going to, and the captain said I was wrong. I didn't check that gear. I was in a hurry. Well, he was wrong. He learned a lesson. But man, what a tough lesson.
Thank you, Gary. Yes, sir.
A question for Gonzalo, if that's okay. What were those tar, whatever they were, on the beach?
Those,
Can you repeat the question for the
sure, he was asking what the tar balls or the tar that was on the beach that I showed.
Just recently, like a month ago.
Right, so you probably saw them. I just got a picture while we were in the back of some more that were north of Access 6. So we had some land like a month ago in Cameron County Park there on the island, and then some in the city about 2 weeks after that. So we sent those in for testing. They came back as crude oil. At that point, though, we can't tell where exactly it came from. So what we do is we'll take that. It goes into a sample, like I said before, and it gets cataloged in a database. So later on, if we have more of this stuff washing up again, which it is, and it's early, we can compare it. We've had 3 different spills on the beach in the last 2 months, and they've all matched to these large chunks. I can't tell you where it's coming from. The data is not there. It's old. There's nothing traceable on it really anymore at that point. But we can tell that it's crude. It's not a bunker oil. It's not from a ship. Possibly could have been from a big spill off a rig. I can't say if it was BP. I can't say how old it is. We've just never seen large chunks like that. You've seen them over the years in large mats or small pieces. This is the first time I've ever seen these large chunks, almost as big as a small car. It's brittle, it breaks, but that's basically what it is. It's crude. Now, we assume it's probably natural seepage. We don't want to say that every time, but I know some people might get upset thinking, well, there are spills going on. We're not being told. So Mexico, if they do have a spill, they're supposed to notify us. They have major events in the past. We've known that they don't. We have a Nexus plan set in place and we practice every year. We've had incidents in the past where we've had major spills, come back, retract, say no, nothing's going on. And then a few months later we have some tar washing up on the beach. So it's happened before. Luckily it's hard, it's not dangerous to sea life or the animals. There are actually organisms living on it at this point, and we do know that there is some bacteria that will consume the oil as well. But as soon as it hits a beach, if it's in a public area like that, we'll hire someone, or the Coast Guard will hire someone to get it off. But we are cataloging, and if you guys see any more, just report it. We'll go out there and figure out where it's coming from.
To follow up on that, how much do you care about where it comes from?
It's important where it comes from, but being able to find out, it's tough. That's why we're doing that catalog.
And do you have an idea of how old? I mean, so you said it's old. Do you know about how old?
I could tell you like months to years, but I'm assuming it's years old, just by what we're seeing. I've talked to some people in the industry that deal with old tank barges and stuff that they get in, and they tell me over years this stuff hardens up and becomes brittle like what we're seeing. We know it takes a very long time for that tar, that oil, once it hits fresh, to lose all the volatiles and become brittle or tar. So we know it's probably out there more than a year. Can't see exactly how long, but what we're also doing is we're sampling these seepage areas. Now, we don't know every seep that's out there in the Gulf. We know a few. There's thousands upon thousands of seeps. Like I said before, there's millions of gallons that naturally comes out of the ground. We're talking about high pressure areas. And then again, like BP, it was 2 miles underground. The majority of that oil that spilled during BP, a lot of it stayed in that 1,000-foot mark, like you saw earlier. I think there was a diagram you saw. So a lot of that could have stayed in terms of the tar, but that's why we're cataloging it, going off the information we know. It's going to take a long time because we just started this program. So if there's thousands of seeps and we're collecting spills along the entire coast or tar along the coast, you're talking years and years until we kind of have an idea of where it's coming from. Every basin has its own signature. So we can kind of tell, okay, well maybe it's coming from the east side of the Gulf or the west side of the Gulf. So at least we're coming down with a more narrow area of where it might be coming from. So it's still tough at this point.
And you could do some backtracking probably with like an ocean circulation model.
You could,
to get to narrow down your scale by a couple hundred
but
kilometers.
like we talked about those trajectories and stuff like that,
But the backtracking would be better than forward tracking because it's a hindcast. So you have a spot on the beach, and then you're not using a forward estimate to guess where it's going to go. You use the better data that's from the day before, the week before, the year before.
Right.
That's better controlled.
And that's what we do with our spills. We'll backtrack using that same trajectory data that we have. We could go and reverse it in a way. Problem with these tar balls, they don't react in the water like oil does. It doesn't float. Oil floats at the surface. It's affected by current and 3% of the wind. So it's going at a certain angle. These tar balls are either going to be subsurface or on the bottom. So there's a lot more currents, tides, things that are going on there that are really hard to calculate. So it's something we'll look at. We're not taking it out off the plate, but we'll definitely look at it.
Mr. Pena, I know where your oil reclamation facility is in Port Isabel, and you were saying it was for the shore boats. I have a couple of questions. Is there a dock, or do you have a truck that goes to the boat to pump out? How is it delivered?
In Port Isabel, it's an actual facility, and it's a regulated facility.
A dock?
It's a dock.
Okay.
It's in the Port Isabel Shrimp Basin.
So my next question, are recreational vessels allowed to pump their bilges?
Any recreational vessel has a bilge, it's probably like an offshore boat that's running diesel or something like that. They can, as long as they make the call, it's free of charge. Most of them don't pull up and do that. They'll bring their buckets and make the call or leave them there. If they are not there to take them, your Walmarts and your other places will usually take your oil as well. But recreational vessels can use it too. They can pull up, but they do got to do the same procedure. Make the call, let them know that they're coming, and then they'll pump off. For the most part, I think most of them, like I said, will just put them in buckets and physically take them there. Like these shrimp boats some shrimp boats will have 200 gallons of oily water, which is a lot. They can't pump that out by hand, But these offshore boats, recreational, most of the time they're able to do it themselves and bring it to us.
No, but if a recreational boat can go alongside, there's no
Oh,
reason
yeah.
I should see any sheen in my water.
There shouldn't be, but people don't go. Some people are lazy. Some people don't know. A lot of the spills we have are just mistakes from, especially recreational. Right now, we do not give tickets to recreational, I'll give warnings, unless they're negligent. So the first time it happens, most of the time boats just get a warning. They're overfueling, or they have a leak in their bilge, pumps out, they're not industry, so it'd be really hard just to be hammering every time. But I've had some occasions where it's a second offense, or he was blatantly negligible. We will get tickets in that case, but it's rare.
I'll take a chance to plug one of my teammates' newest publications. She's working on a one-page fact sheet about where to take oil, what to do when you have small recreational type of leaks, and there's a list of phone numbers, and we'll be sharing that with everyone here. As long as your email is written down on a contact sheet, you'll get that release when we put it out there. So if you want, you can download it and share it with people who might be interested in learning how to handle those situations. Tony.
I got a question for Gonzo. How about antifreeze? Boats that don't have fuel fluids, if you use antifreeze and change it, what happens?
I couldn't really answer that, Tony, but I'm sure TCQ, if we get a hold of them, they'll have hopefully a plan for that. I know one of the big things is that non-oil, hazardous, antifreeze, there's other stuff on there that can be harmful. Couldn't really tell you, but I know they're working, I know the city of Brownsville is working on something like that. As for industry, I don't know what they do with it, and it sounds like it could be a problem, something they need to look at.
We're going to move away from oil and go back to turtles, and this is a question for Jaime. Would you say that generally speaking, in the local communities in Tamaulipas, their mindset has shifted from exploiting the resource to conserving or protecting the resource, or do you still see a lot of poaching of medics and females?
No, it has changed dramatically. I mean, you saw the picture of the soldiers, the Marines. That was to protect the biologists, not the turtles. Because when they got there, the people from the ejido, from the rural towns, were saying, "You're taking away this from us." Right? So the first year, they had a lot of problems. The second year, the Marines got there. And they were there until the 80s. I was fortunate enough to be with them in one of my first trips to Rancho Nuevo back in the 80s. They were there just because they had been there for so long. But we really didn't need them anymore. In early 90s, they left because fortunately they weren't. So by the early 90s, you had seen a change in their way of thinking. And also, like Patrick mentioned, we started getting help from the local people, not the kids, the children and the grandchildren are the people who used to eat or sell the eggs. Now remember, the problem with the chemistry at Rancho Nuevo wasn't that the people were eating them. I mean, how many eggs can you eat, for God's sake? The problem started when they started making a commerce out of it. And trucks from Mexico City would come in and just, so when they started seeing that benefit, they started poaching a lot more. Because really, it's kind of hard to be taking every single egg out. You come in, you're gonna eat. One mess it's 100 eggs. That's a lot of eggs. So that's when the problem started. So when the biologists got there, they took away a monetary benefit. So it was very hard, but Patrick and the rest of the biologists started instituting grassroots education programs. I mean, the first education programs that we used to do, they didn't have any PowerPoint presentations or any such thing. No, we had piñatas and we gave them sandwich and we dressed up as turtles and we had playing games and all sorts of things. So the kids would have fun with us. One of us would dress up as a clown. Now we have people dressing up as sea turtles, of course, like Sheldon. But at the end of all this, after all the fun, we would take out the baby turtles. And that was it. That's it. It's like Jack was mentioning about that guy, the senator. I mean, nothing beats releasing a baby turtle. So I was lucky enough that I was doing those education programs and now those guys work for me. So it's pretty cool. We do see some poaching, but it's statistically insignificant, I would say. And believe it or not, a lot of the poaching is, I'm just gonna take like 20 eggs and they leave the rest. And they leave it for us, to protect it for us. So yes, it's 40 years later, it does make a difference.
So there's not any armed patrols anymore?
Only with big time readers. No, not anymore. Shut up, Jeff. Shut up, Jeff. It's a nice
Jeff,
meeting.
do you envision a time when we'll just be able to let nature take its course and there won't have to be this financial effort for the turtles?
Well, we certainly hope so. I think
In
that's
our
what,
lifespan.
I think that's what the scientists are, that's why we have recovery. At what point, and I think that some of the biologists in this room have set the bar that says when you get to this level of nesting and this many hatchlings, then you start to talk about downlisting, correct? To threaten. And then when you get to another level, then maybe you take them off the endangered species list. I mean, that's the goal. And the only, my limited knowledge, the only threat to that is to make sure that these communities don't go back to doing what they were doing 50 years ago. So that's the ultimate goal, is let nature go back to taking care of itself.
Benny gets the last question.
Terry, Professor Grant, you implied, and first of all, I want to verify that's true, part of the restore funding to rebuild the population has gone to funding for increased enforcement of feds. Is that correct?
In this case, it's outreach with the gear monitoring team doesn't give tickets. They do outreach and collect data.
So they haven't hired additional health agents to do.
There are some new boots on the ground, I understand. Now, whether or not that came from Deepwater Horizon money, I don't know.
The reason I ask, part of the problem, as you alluded to, is they check what they figure are the violators, and they don't get a representative sample of fleet compliance. With increased boots on the ground, is there an effort to stratify a random sample or whatever method to get a good estimate of fleet compliance?
The gear monitor team is part of that, the people that are acquiring those data. And it's pretty random, you know, and I think it's pretty random with Tony and I too, you know, to a degree, as far as acquiring the data. But I do know that they've put in some new NOAA enforcement in uniform. You know, one of them was in Galveston the other day. He called me and said, I need to introduce myself. I just went on 4 boats and you checked all 4 of them a few weeks ago, and you know, and so, you know, they're picking up the pace. But you understand that Parks and Wildlife is really in state waters, and they have a reputation. Anybody in Parks and Wildlife, you go to North Carolina, and a strip fisherman in North Carolina will tell you, you come off Texas coast, you're going to be right. You know, they have a reputation, and it's warranted.
I think what I've always been concerned with is the representativeness.
I know that, and that's been a concern of mine. You know, it has, and because, and the person that doesn't understand can look at, you know, I just went over it really quick, the number of boats that seem to be inspected. You think, well, there's nobody doing this, but they are. But I think most of the state agencies right now are pretty quick to indicate that they're not too interested in turning in those forms. You know, they've been resistant up to this point.
Why?
For that one thing that I told you, they say they're out trying to catch the bad guy and not the good guy, and it's skewing the data. There you go. I haven't seen new data on this lately. They haven't published it, but yeah, compliance data was the last time they published was up around 90%. It's industry wasn't compliant the last time. Well into it, and you guys have got to understand now. Some of those numbers reflect violations that are not serious. But they still count against the industry, you know, and that's...
If you live or die by 88%, it needs to be right and representative.
Needs to be right. And I have seen just myself, over the years, the gear is a lot better now, a lot better.
All right, this discussion can be carried on shortly after I make my closing comments. But before I do that, I want to thank our afternoon panelists. Thank you guys.